What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Rezolve AI. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what is moving it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Rezolve is down 0.58%, 262 the high, 248 the low. In all fairness, Rezolve's actually holding up a lot better than a lot of other growth and speculative stocks. We are seeing very low volume though, so 8.3 million shares being traded. A lot of individuals on social media are really painting a negative picture of Rezolve based on the most recent SEC filing, which I will go over in a second. But as far as news and articles, nothing really coming out associated to Rezolve. So it's still kind of flying under the radar from mainstream media, of course. That hopefully will change next week, or I guess in the next couple of weeks with their January the 13th call. But when it comes down to the broader market, it's moving because of a couple of things. One is the market digesting that recent FOMC minutes from yesterday, and how ultimately the Feds aren't in any rush whatsoever to cut for the upcoming January meeting. So that does mean that the market will have to wait up until March the 18th, I do believe. So that's not the greatest. Initial jobless claims also came in at 199, forecast of 222. So again, that's good. So not really justifying of a rate cut. And one thing, I don't believe that this is really moving the broader market, but I just wanted to kind of bring it up. So it looks like Warren Buffett finally clocks out. So stepping down from as being the CEO, Berkshire Hathaway. So definitely want to give a shout out to him. For those of you that have been investing for a while, he's been a OG. And so when I first started trading back in like 2009, 2010, like everyone was looking at him as kind of the iconic pinnacle of the broader market. Nowadays, you have a lot of random, like for instance, Tom Lee, and you also have Cathie Wood. So a lot of individuals out there, but definitely good stuff to see Warren Buffett is going out on a high end. Aside from that though, Rezolve, there has been no news associated to them. They did put out news on the 29th. I did a video that day on why I wasn't really overly happy about this news. They could have refined it a little bit, but there was one thing that did come out that I just wanted to share with you, and that was a prospectus that was submitted yesterday morning. And so a lot of people instantly see prospectus and think dilution. So right now Rezolve is registering shares, and that's because of the most recent acquisition, so Crown Peak acquisition. And so that is ultimately giving the owners pretty much the right to sell if they so choose. And so in reality, this isn't that big of a deal in my opinion. And so it is what it is. So let me know your kind of viewpoint on that in the comments below. It is rather comical though. Every time someone sees just prospectus, they automatically jump to the conclusion of just dilution. And honestly, like that happens a lot, but in Rezolve's case, they tend to have a lot of the selling stockholders giving them the opportunity to sell just in case. And I think a lot of companies that do a lot of acquisitions kind of go this route. So they're just registering kind of the shares essentially. So nothing really crazy in my opinion. Regarding shorts, they are increasing 336,000 shares. So given that we are seeing rather low volume, shorts are kind of still making up for a good chunk of the daily volume. And keep in mind this 336, that is net. They trade back and forth throughout the day, but still shorts are starting to circle, and you can kind of see it puts it in perspective on how much they are really starting to get in to Rezolve. So 22.18% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 26.34 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 2.2, so still kind of on the low end. Short score is 66.74. Most likely, this might be a premature thing to say, but leading into the January 13th call, so that's going to be most likely the next big catalyst, you will see shorts return, just in case of, let's say, some FOMO actually starting to kind of hype up the stock price. So in my opinion, that is something that could be potentially something to be aware of. Looking at the options, 213,000 in calls, 41,000 in puts, and then 48% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $2.50 to $3 over the next little bit, so a nice recovery. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub $2.50, and there's not really much activity coming from them, in all fairness. Right now, 2 transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000, and they are both sells, one for 168, other one for 112,000. Most likely they're not reacting to anything specific to Rezolve, they're just reacting to more macro events. So maybe just profit taking or whatever reason, but still nothing really significant coming out from any institutions. And right now, 2 transactions as well on the dark pool. Dark pool is often enough used by shorts and hedge funds. Whole numbers is more hedge funds. And with today being the last day in Q4, as well as I guess 2025, you will be seeing some rebalancing. So don't be surprised if we see some kind of abnormal trades after hours. So this one right here, 50,000, that most likely was a hedge fund. But right now with it at 257, it's just trading between this S1 and this S2. 251 and 264 is going to be the next strong support as well as resistance / target. And it's actually touched both general ranges. So it did have so far the high of 262 today. So kind of bouncing off this S1 and then 248 bouncing off of this general S2. So not really too much going on. You can even see from my watch list right here, a lot of stocks are not doing the greatest. So like I said, Rezolve is actually doing fairly well in comparison to the norm, because in a normal day for Rezolve, it'd be down like 5-6%. So definitely good to see. Aside from that though, on the actual chart itself, giving you a quick overview. So right now it is below that 10-day moving average. So it kind of shows that we're losing a little bit of momentum. Despite that though, we are seeing algos really kind of maintaining Rezolve and keeping it up a little bit. There hasn't been any new analyst ratings. So last one was done by Cantor on the 24th. There, like I said, nothing really crazy coming out from any articles, no comments or anything crazy speculative being posted on social media. So right now it is just kind of at the mercy of the broader market, but you're adding a dash of kind of optimism. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Are you buying? Are you selling? Do you think that January the 13th call is going to be the next big catalyst, or do you think that they're going to have some kind of Easter eggs from now up until then? And what is your overall kind of viewpoint on the broader market? There seems to be more bearishness starting to pop up, signaling that we might be heading for some kind of further consolidation. And like, do you think that's going to occur? So what's your overall thoughts on all of that? Hopefully everyone has a epic new year. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.